I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today we are back in the woods. It's a great day to be in the woods because it's quite hot outside of the woods, but in here it's a lovely, calm, smooth temperature. It's not too hot. Now today I'm going to make a special type of adjustable pot hanger, really handy for around more permanent camps and stuff like that. But as always, when I'm in the woods, I shall be dining here. So first things first, I need to get myself a nice little fire going and get some chicken cooking. I think before I make the pot hanger, I'm going to get the chicken cooking away because that'll save me some time. As we've said many times on this channel, we don't want to mess around with raw chicken. Ugh. Right, so that's the chicken on. Fire lit, chicken on. Mission accomplished there. Now, excuse me, it's a bit of a smoky fire, which is good. In fact, I have actually specifically selected wood that's a little damper than I ordinarily would to keep the smoke up. And the reason is the horseflies are out and about, and it's far too hot for me to cover all my arms up and everything without me sweating myself to death. So a bit of smoke on the fire chases those nasty little biters away. Anyway, I'm going to want a brew. So best things to do now, let's get on and make this pot hanger that I was talking about. So firstly, I'm going to need a good ground spike, bit of a fence post if you will. And this location we have a couple of dead birches that are going to provide all of that in one. Keep it simple. I mean, to be fair, unless you're one of those people who have a permanent location, which I don't. I did for a while because I was building my own spot, but as usual got wrecked. Enough said about that. So now I've gone back to being nomadic, and what I tend to do is just go place to place, and I'll pick my place by what firewood's available really. So I've got my ground spike. Now what I'm going to do is put a series of grooves in it with the saw. You'll see why later on. Right, so there is my stick with a nice ground spike on it and a load of groove notches. You'll see what they're all about in a bit, but we don't need him for the moment. I'll just pop him over here, just go chuck another log on the fire, because then we've got to find a very specific stick. Now, for the very specific stick, which weirdly seems to be just right in front of me. So we'll trim this puppy up and see if it's going to work. If that's still alive, I'll leave that alone. Give it up. It's mine. That. Oh my word. That is perfect. So I want a stick like that. Yeah. With that V there. Okay. This will all become clear soon. So now I'm just going to flatten this edge off on the end of it. Good old Freya doing the work. Lovely. Now I want another stick. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this bit first. That way. I'll make the other stick in a minute. I'll finish doing this bit first. it'll make more sense if I do that. So what I need to do is get the saw and put a ring around that with the saw. And again, this will all become clear once I've finished bathing with it. So just cut a nice groove around it. Like that. Now I kind of wish I'd bought my wafty hat, as it looks like my smoky fire is going to want just a little bit of attention. Right, now what I need is a bit of the old tarred bank line, or indeed any other cord that one has will do fine. And here, where we've just put the groove, this is what the groove's all about. Tie a little knot, and then put the knot on the edge, make a loop. This loop has got to fit around your first stick, your anchor stick, yeah? And then I'm going to hold that there, and then in the groove, make a little loop on this side and back feed this piece so it locks it in place. Very much like if you was using old string to wrap a parcel or something akin to that. And then we're just going to make it nice and tight into that groove, like so. One more time around, and we'll just tie it to the little stubby end that we left where we put that first knot. Lovely. And that will do us. Magico. Right. Excellent. Now, what we need to do is put the stake in the ground near the fire and get a good measurement here. So I'm going to take this stick and I'm going to use this stick to work out where I want my ground stake. Yeah, about there will do. Lovely. So what we'll do, we'll beat this into the ground. And I know there's always those people going, axes aren't hammers. Yeah, they are. I always get people saying, oh, it'll knock your head loose and this, that and the other. No, it won't. Soak the wooden end there. Soak it in old engine oil. It ain't coming loose. It ain't coming loose. People tell you soak it in water. Don't soak it in water. That's a temporary fix, yeah? If you've got a loose tool head and you're soaking it in water, that's something you'll do when you're out bushcrafting on the day and you just need it to not be loose. That's cool. In an emergency, use water. The problem is obviously water is, as they always say, water is like the Earth's most aggressive solvent or whatever, because it degrades everything it comes into contact with, and it will also degrade the wood in your axe or tool eyelet. Best thing to use is something like dirty engine oil. You can use clean engine oil if you want, but it doesn't evaporate. It stays in there a lot longer, and it actively treats the wood and stops it rotting. Yeah, I'm sure someone will disagree with that, but this axe handle's been here 5-6 years now, and I've broke many, but this one's lasted a heck of a long time, and that is all I do with it. I just soak it in some engine oil, and she ain't loose, so it's one of them. So I apologise if we're at funny angles today. I'm on a bit of a hill here. Now, this is the magic bit. This rope locks into your grooves that you carved up there. It would have done if I'd have made it a wee bit bigger. And that locks on there. This makes it somewhat, there we go, adjustable. Yeah, or at least it would if I'd have knocked this in at the better angle. There we go. There we go. Lovely. So there is my movable adjustable pot hanger. I'll just turn him out of the way for the moment because we're not going to need it right now. What we are going to need is another stick. Let's get on that. I've just found the ideal stick with that lovely hook there. That will do exactly what I want it to. So now I need the saw. Try and get this bit relatively level, because along the back, what I'm going to do is just saw straight lines into it, yeah, nice and flat and straight. About 4 should do. Lovely. Then we take the knife, whichever pocket I've dropped it into. These cargo pants are wonderful things, but there's too many pockets and you can never remember what pocket you've used. There it is. Ooh, these bugs. I don't like these biting insects. Right. So what I'm going to do is simply... Ooh, that was a bit violent. Simply cut up towards those saw cuts. Yeah, basically hollowing out the wood. Get the stakes on in a minute. Lovely. Make sure you go quite deep down. You'll see why. I keep saying that. You'll see why. In just an hour or 3. Right then. I want a brew. So, that should do. And you've got the hook and a load of those things. Yeah? Lovely. You can always... Lovely. So, the magic of this is it's adjustable in 2 different ways. I can adjust it on the pole here for height and location, but I can also use the notches in this stick. So the magic is I can adjust it at the back up and down the actual main pole, which, to be fair, you could have made that quite a bit longer than I did. But I can also adjust its height using the notches on this stick. So I can adjust that up or down as I need it. But at the moment, that's pretty good. It's just suspending it just over the top of the fire there. I had to move. I've got an absolute face full of smoke and ash and everything. Moved you again. So that is a dead handy way to hang a pot, and obviously probably better for more reused camps than just going out once or twice. The only advice I would give is make sure, because for boiling water obviously doesn't matter, you want to just be as close as you possibly can. because you're just boiling water, you want it done quick. If you're cooking and stuff, your first pole, the one we put the notches in that the actual arm hangs off, make it good and long. Make it a lot longer than you think you're going to want it. That way you've got a lot more playability for stews and, you know, your usual suspects of things that you're going to cook. So in this case, I really should have made that back pole longer. But it doesn't matter for me today, because I'm just boiling water, and you can see that's going to boil in no time, and I shall soon have my coffee. What I don't have is a place to put my coffee without throwing it all over the floor. So I'm going to just go and make myself a sweet little table over here, because this tree is already dead anyway, so I don't think it really makes too much odds. There we go. A nice Bosun Dan coffee table. Just a nice flat surface where one can stand a coffee cup. Ah, it's nice to be back out in the woods, I admit. I have not been particularly bushcrafty for a little while. That's because I've been out on the motorbikes. Naughty, naughty. That's going to be a good strong coffee. Lovely. Let that sit a few minutes. Let it cool. So what I've done, I've just beaten the stick end deeper there to hold it, and changed the angle. See, as with all these things I build, there's so many ways to adjust it. So I've just pulled the angle back and belted it in deeper, raised the nose, and that's made the adjuster on the front work better. So now I'm on the second to last adjuster, and it's holding it quite a way off the fire, which is what I want, because it's still got coffee in it. But I've only just made one coffee, so I don't want it to boil it to death and evaporate it into steam. Excuse me, into steam for me. Just want it to keep it warm, so when I'm ready for my next brew, it'll be a lot quicker. Whilst that chicken cooks, I don't mind eating the steaks quite raw, but I'm not messing about with rare chicken. One of these beef steaks is about ready. Well, ready to how I like it. I like it good and rare, to be honest with you. Oh, some of my special Bosun Dan's modified Wadobo. Just pop that on my glove so it doesn't run away. Nice big slurp of coffee. Vitamin coffee. Magic. The old red woodland friend. Oh, look at that. Basically raw. Oh yeah. Right. I know. I say this every time. But that really is exceptional. There's no finer way. Why am I pointing over there? You're not there. There's no finer way to have your lunch than in the woods. And there's no better lunch than absolutely meat. No nasty grain or veg. 100% carnivore, baby. Oh yeah. Beautiful. think I might have to indulge in another one of them Steakosaurus or something. Oh, beautiful. That is actually, I mean, that's really, really good. I don't know if it's the smokiness or what. I mean, I love cooking in my big cast iron pan as well, but there's just something about the smoke when you cook it in the woods. It's just something about that smokiness. Second piece. I think I might have overcooked this one a little. We'll see. See what she's like on the inside. La-di-di-da-di-da. Oh no, still pink. Ha! Yeah, so I figured it's been a while since you've seen a video where I'm stuffing my face, so thought I'd bring you out into the woods with me and you can watch me poke some beautifully cooked meat into me gob again. Oh. Oh, fly. I'm not sharing it. Wait. Mmm. Delicious. Away. Mine. And I feel relatively confident that this chicken is cooked. That stick is very hot. Yes, this piece is, because it was a thinner piece. Ah! Very, very warm. Good old tickle of the special wood oboe. Courtesy of the Wooded Beardsman. And modified by me. I just threw a bit more pepper and a few other things into it. I like stuff really peppery. So I peppered it up good. If you've never heard of the Wooded Beardsman, check him out. He's all sorts of survival-y stuff on his channel. Mmm. Oh man. Tell you what. Kentucky Fried Humans has got nothing on me. Little joke there. If you know, you know. Oh man. Can't think of anything more satisfying than this. It's funny actually, because just as I said I think it's coffee time, I could actually hear the coffee start boiling. Old special stick out. Ooh. Yeah, me and this pot have a bit of a sketchy relationship. It tries to scold me all the time. It's a good pot, mind you, but I'm a bit wary of it. That is the business. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure that's all slippery now. Pretty sure that last piece of chicken is going to want a bit longer because it's quite a bit thicker than the other one. Just while I wait for that last piece of chicken to finish off, just a quick word about safety. I've seen a lot online at the moment about fire safety and fire location, because obviously we're in the dry time of year And woodland floors and roots and things can smoulder for days and months underground without anybody knowing it. So location's key. It probably won't show on camera, but where I am is an incredibly boggy part of these woods. I'm at the bottom of a valley with a river in it, and underneath all of this greenery it never actually dries out. It always stays very damp here, so there's no way my ground's on fire. And to be fair, I can literally just go over there where it's active bog and you can see water and just get several good pans of water and soak it in. Please do check if the ground's appropriate. If you dig down a few inches and it's quite dry or only slightly damp, don't make a fire there, it will set on fire. Big shout out to Mr. Sticks from Sticks Outdoors with that from when I was camping with him. That man literally nearly dug his way to China to make sure that that fire was completely out and we weren't gonna set the woods a smoulder. It is important, because if you don't catch it and the woods are smouldering underneath the surface, it can take the fire service a very long time and a heck of a lot of effort to put that out. Obviously that is then going to impact the woodlands that you guys all enjoy the same as I do. But not only that, you are distracting firefighting units to come and do silly things where you've been doing daft stuff as opposed to doing what they should be doing, actually putting out house fires and rescuing people. So you just wait. It's a big waste of resources, and it can take a long time to actually put out a woodland fire underground. So do make sure this time of year, if you're having fires, that you are somewhere where the ground is appropriate and damp enough. You can just make a fire on top of some drop logs on somewhere that's really nice and damp, so that you know it is not going to continue smouldering after you burn. And like I say, there's a lot online and on YouTube at the moment about this sort of stuff, but I can't overemphasize the importance of these sorts of things. Where I live, I'm just sort of at the foot of the Peak District National Park where the roaches are. Big climbing location. I climb there a lot myself. In my climbing instructor days, I used to work up there quite a bit as well. And almost every year, the dry heathland would catch fire because of disposable barbecues or people flicking cigarette butts, or even something as stupid as glass, plastic bottles, things with a little bit of liquid in that can amplify the sunlight and make it catch fire. Yes, they do controlled burns to reduce the risk of this and thin the heather and heathland down a little bit, but they can only do that every so often. They can't do it year on year on year because of things like ground nesting birds, and obviously if you keep burning everything away, you're not going to have it. So we as outdoor enthusiasts, we need to work with these people on this and be sensible. Now, I know that most of you guys watching me aren't the kind of people who would do anything like that, but we all know the absolute frustration of when we go out and we see litter everywhere, yeah? And I know there's the whole leave no trace. I'll amend that to just leave no litter. I don't mind seeing the odd fire scar here and there. It means somebody's had a good time. What I tend to do is, if I am out looking for a place to have a fire, if I see somebody else's fire scar, I use it. That way it was already there. I'm not adding to the damage, to the surface, to the look of it. But I don't think it's such a bad thing to see a fire scar that's where someone has had a nice fire. What I do think is it's a real bad thing to find non-decomposable waste. Plastic bottles, tin cans, glass. And glass is a pet peeve of mine because people will smash it, or it'll get smashed in one manner or another. People walk the dogs around these parts, and I don't like the thought of some dog slicing its foot open on somebody else's glass bottle. When I mean, here we're 4 or 5 miles away from the nearest roads and all of that. What you're supposed to do if your dog's just cut itself badly, or a person has cut themselves badly. There's a bit of a slip there. Kind of let you know that I generally prefer dogs to people. This bit. I think this chicken is well and truly done. I hope so, anyway. I really don't want to have to put it back on the fire. Oh yes, beautiful. That. Magic. Well guys, that's my magic pot hanger. That's about all I need to say for today while I stuff my face with chicken. So that's it from me today. As always, get out there, get having fun, get bushcrafting, be safe, get making interesting pot hangers and things like that. And let me know if you've got any ideas of anything that you would like to see. Please like, subscribe, share it with your friends, talk about it at work. But that is all.